In the heart of ancient Italy, a small city began to rise. Its humble origins were only the beginning of a journey that would change the course of history forever. This is the story of Rome, an empire that would span continents and dominate the Mediterranean for centuries. But how did this once tiny settlement become one of the greatest civilizations in history? From its legendary founding in 753 BCE by Romulus and Remus to its eventual collapse in the West in 476 CE, Rome's story is filled with power struggles, innovation, conquest, and cultural achievements. So let's rewind the clock and explore the rise of Rome, from a small city-state to the heart of a sprawling empire. Rome's story begins on the Italian peninsula in a region called Latium. According to legend, the twin brothers Romulus and Remus were abandoned as infants and raised by a she-wolf. Romulus would eventually go on to found the city of Rome, naming it after himself and becoming its first king. But while the myth is fascinating, the truth is a bit more complex. In reality, Rome was likely founded by a mixture of different Italic tribes and settlers from surrounding regions. It started as a small village, strategically located on the Tiber River, which provided access to trade routes and fertile land. Fast forward a few centuries, and Rome was no longer a monarchy. In 509 BCE, the Romans overthrew their last king and established a republic. This shift marked a new era in Roman history, a time when power was shared among elected officials in the Senate, with a complex system of checks and balances. The Roman Republic lasted for nearly 500 years and was characterized by its focus on civic duty and participation. It was during this time that Rome began expanding its territory through military conquest, diplomacy, and alliances. From the Italian peninsula, Rome turned its gaze outward, first conquering neighboring regions and then moving on to the great powers of the Mediterranean. By the early 2nd century BCE, Rome had defeated the mighty Carthaginian Empire in the Punic Wars, securing dominance over the western Mediterranean. But as Rome grew more powerful, internal tensions also grew. By the 1st century BCE, the Republic was plagued by political corruption, social inequality, and power struggles among ambitious leaders. This led to the rise of one of the most famous figures in Roman history, Julius Caesar. Caesar, a brilliant general, became the key figure in the final days of the Roman Republic. His conquest of Gaul made him immensely popular and powerful, but it also brought him into conflict with the Senate. In 49 BC, Caesar famously crossed the Rubicon River with his army, declaring the die is cast, a bold move that would ultimately lead to his rise as dictator for life. But power, as always in Rome, was fleeting. In 44 BCE, Julius Caesar was assassinated by a group of senators, including his close friend Brutus. His death, however, didn't restore the Republic. Instead, it marked the beginning of the end for Rome's republican system. After Caesar's death, Rome was plunged into civil war, with rival generals like Octavian, Mark Antony, and Lepidus fighting for control. Eventually, it was Caesar's adopted heir, Octavian, later known as Augustus, who emerged victorious. In 27 BC, Octavian became Rome's first emperor, taking the title of Augustus. This marked the official end of the Roman Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire. Augustus initiated a period of relative peace and prosperity, known as the Pax Romana, or Roman peace, which lasted for over 200 years. At its peak, the Roman Empire spanned across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. It controlled the Mediterranean coastline, from Britain to Egypt, and from Spain to Asia Minor. Rome's influence in culture, law, and military strategy was unparalleled. Rome wasn't just a military power, it was also a hub of innovation. Romans were exceptional engineers, building roads, aqueducts, and monumental structures like the Colosseum and the Pantheon. Their legal system, with concepts like innocent until proven guilty, still influences modern law today. Roman architecture, too, was revolutionary. The use of concrete allowed the Romans to build massive, durable structures that still stand today, a testament to their engineering genius. But even the mightiest empires can fall. By the 3rd century CE, the Roman Empire was facing mounting pressures, political instability, economic decline, military overreach, and invasions by barbarian tribes. The empire was split into two parts: the Western Roman Empire, with its capital in Rome, and the Eastern Roman Empire, or Byzantine Empire, with its capital in Constantinople. In 410 CE, the Visigoths sacked Rome, a shocking event that symbolized the empire's crumbling power. By 476 CE, the last Roman emperor in the West, Romulus Augustulus, was overthrown, and the Western Roman Empire came to an official end. However, the Eastern Roman Empire, or Byzantine Empire, continued to thrive for nearly another 1,000 years, preserving Roman culture and traditions until the fall of Constantinople in 1453. Today, the legacy of ancient Rome is everywhere. Its laws, its language, its architecture, and even its spirit of civic duty continue to influence modern societies. Rome may have fallen, but its story is far from over. It lives on in our culture, our systems of government, and our collective imagination. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through Roman history, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let us know in the comments, what part of Roman history would you like us to explore next? Until then, Ave Roma.